Hi, welcome to Strength Reversed. It's Amy. Thank you so much for being here. I am supposed to be working out right now, and so I thought, what a marvelous time to do literally anything else. And suddenly I have all sorts of motivation to make YouTube videos. So here I am making a video that's been on my to-do list for quite a while, and that is a VR to Sylvain at Sylvain's Deadly Sins. It is the hashtag 7 decks for Deadly Sins, where you take each of the deadly sins and match them to a tarot deck that you have. So I will attempt to do that instead of working out. I'll just postpone that for a little while. And I first came across Sylvain's channel when it was, well, he has a French language channel, and I kind of muddled through and I could get the gist and, catch a word here and there. But now that he has an English language channel, I'm getting all the words, so I'm excited about that. And I know this hashtag has been around for a while, but you know how I am. A day late and a dollar short. So here we go. Okay, the first deadly sin is pride. And this is a deck that you purchased just to show off or for flexing. Okay, a lot of the decks that people get super excited about and that a lot of people are getting excited about are decks that I, for some reason, am not excited about. So there's that. And so a lot of the decks that I love, other people don't really seem to. I have purchased a couple of decks on the cheap that I haven't really jived with, but that I keep in my collection because other people seem to want them. So that is the $2.50. I don't know where I got this, but this is the Sloth Tarot, and I showed it on a video a long time ago of decks that I don't use, and some people went, ooh, it's a green Sloth, oh my gosh, and I thought, well, that must be good, and so I will keep it, because I think every tarot reader, I think I gotta have a Sloth Tarot if I'm gonna be a legit tarot reader, right? No, you don't need that, but that's the way my brain works. And so I thought, well, it must be good. I'll keep it. And the other one I got for $2 at Friends of the Library. And it's cool. It's the Barbara Walker Tarot. And I got it after I had already had the book that goes with it for several years. And so they somehow got matched together. And I don't really jive with it. It's cool looking. Some of the images are very interesting and kind of dark, but not too dark. They're just unique. And people have contacted me and said, hey, if you ever want to sell that deck, so I guess it must be out of print. And so I keep it because of that. Is that petty? Oh, well. Okay, the next one is Greed, and that is a deck used only for yourself / only used for yourself. So I wrote that twice. I'm not sure what that means. And that is the Robin Wood Tarot, my grand dame, as Jason says. This is my very first tarot deck that, from the mid-90s that I love, back when you couldn't get a million tarot decks. And this used to be my go-to deck for many, many years. And now, lately, it's kind of a matriarch sort of a feeling. And it doesn't really like to read for other people. And so I only really keep it to read for myself. And this is a deck that goes with me everywhere. If I travel, this is my 100%. I'm taking this with me because it just goes places with me. Not in my purse, not as a purse deck, but just, if I go to another state, to another country, this deck for sure is coming with me to experience the experiences. And so this is a deck that I don't like other people to touch. I don't mind people touching my decks if I'm giving them a reading or if they are into tarot and they want to look at a certain deck. But this one, the hand gets slapped away if anyone reaches for it. Okay, the next deadly sin is Wrath, a deck you're angry at. I do have a couple of decks that I'm not getting along with. I'm not really angry at them, just more disgusted / fearful. So the first one is the Gilded Tarot by Ciro Marchetti. And this I got probably early 2000s, maybe late 90s. I think it was a newer deck when I got it. And when I first saw the deck, some of these are reversed. When I first saw the deck, I was in awe of it. And I thought the pictures were so cool. It was very Rider-Waite-ish, yet it was just new and different, and the colors were bright, and I even was excited about the borders. And now, for whatever reason, it just really, really, really bothers me. And I don't know what it is, because I look at the pictures and, I mean, they're pretty. It's not that they're not pretty. It just really, I don't know. It's just so, maybe it's because it was from a certain time in my life that I think was almost another lifetime. I don't know. It's just not, some of the artwork I still think is cool, but it just doesn't do it for me anymore. And plus some of the cards are, I tried some new cleansing thing and it warped a couple of the cards. I don't know why. I just look at this and I go, ugh, it's just, ew. I almost want to take this deck and throw it in the garbage. That's how I'm feeling every time I see this deck sitting on my shelf. I don't know. I don't know how to describe that feeling. Like, I want to throw it away. I think I, would burn it or repurpose it or give it to someone who wanted it. The other deck that I'm not exactly mad at, but I do keep my distance from, is the Handle Tarot. And I also have the guidebook that was written by Rachel Pollack. Now, I had a reading with this deck about a very specific topic that was important to me. And the person who read with this deck is a phenomenal reader and someone that I really love and respect. And so the reading that I got with this deck is something that was very meaningful. But I remember being so impressed by this deck and thinking it was so beautiful. And so I bought it. And when I got it home and opened it, it did not have the same feeling at all. It felt very dark and very strange, and it's almost a panic attack kind of feeling when I look at it. I also, before I got the deck, had sort of a experience in meditation where a guide came forward. I know I can say that to tarot tubers and they don't think I'm crazy. A guide came forward who was very intense and very scary. And when I got the deck and looked through it, I was like, oh my God, that's him. There it is. And it was, ever since then, I've kind of put the deck away and I don't like to look at it too much. So that's another deck that is experiencing my wrath. And I'm experiencing its wrath. The next one is Envy, a deck that you wanted because other people have it. Like I said, I'm not a collector, and so lots of people like decks. The super popular ones I don't really seem to get, but there are some decks that I look at and start drooling. Go, ooh. And one of the decks that I saw, this was on the Cackling Moons channel, she collects Rider-Waite decks, and I saw the holographic tarot. This is the Magic Seer, I think is the seller, and it looks like this, and I saw it and I was like, I have to have that. Shiny things. And so I saw that and immediately like, ooh, I need that for myself. Making a mess of cards here. Yeah, I could look at that all day, and outside in the sun, it's even It's even holographic-ier. The next deadly sin is lust. A deck you have for aesthetic reasons. Well, all decks, of course, I first get for aesthetic reasons because I just like how they look. But there are a couple that I saw and it was love at first sight. And just, I felt like I have to have that because it is so beautiful. The first one is the Titanic Tarot. Now, I don't scroll Kickstarter a whole lot. I was on Kickstarter for, I think I was doing a VR or a 31 Days of Tarot or something. And I happened to come across this deck. And Manuela from Place of Stillness was kind enough to send me the box for it. It's the White Star Line, box. I saw this deck and I just knew it was mine. So it has real people. It has this gorgeous indigo color. And if you're interested in the history of the Titanic, it's a gorgeous deck to add. And you can't really see, but it has this black iris, this iridescent black border. Mine's a little chipped, but anyway, it's beautiful. The other deck that I got just because I lusted after it is the Golden Tarot of Klimt. And I love this artist. He's here's the bag it comes in. He's one of my favorite artists. He and Georgia O'Keeffe are my two favorites. The cards are absolutely spectacular. They are breathtaking. Here are the backs, and each card has this gilding on it. The reason why I don't use this deck very much is because the images on the cards, even though they're all different, they do kind of blend together in my mind somehow. It's not immediately clear by looking at the card what card it is. And it's probably, I would put this top 3 of most gorgeous tarot decks I've ever seen. I hate when the ring light shows, but it's just so pretty. I could just go through this all day. Anyway, here's a good one. So that is the Lust deck. I got it just because I love the way it looks. Even though I knew it probably wasn't going to speak to me for readings, I still wanted it in my life. The next deadly sin is Gluttony, a deck you really didn't need but purchased anyway. Literally any deck that I own. They're all gluttonous. Let's see. I would say probably the Wildwood Tarot. I saw this around a lot and I kind of liked it, but I didn't get that feeling that you get when you really, really, really love a deck. But still, I was like, I can learn to love it. And I really did try, but it's in the box, practically new, and it sits on the shelf. The other one that I got at the same time, I must have been going through, having a particularly eyes are bigger than my stomach kind of a day, was the Druidcraft. And that one I just did a trade with Kenneth from Common Hawthorne. And so I was really happy to get rid of that one and give that to him because if he likes it and is going to use it and is happy with it, then to me, it's not wasted, So that one is a, one of those purchases that you regret as soon as you buy it. Like, okay, that was fun to buy, but now it's lost its luster. And the last deadly sin is Sloth. This is a deck that you use when you feel lazy. Okay, any Rider-Waite deck is a good Sloth deck. This is a deck that here I have the Radiant Wise Spirit. The images, what I like about RWS is that there are lots of different flavors that can feel new to you, but then you have this classic imagery that feels so familiar immediately. So I got the Radiant Y Spirit because I wanted a borderless one. Of course, I have the, you know, the ugly plaid back one. I have the universal weight. I have the tiny universal weight that I use for advent calendars, which I hope you're watching. And I have the holographic one. So I have lots of different versions of Rider Waite. And if I'm feeling lazy and don't really want to, you know, want it to be very straightforward, I can reach for any of those. And it's easy, right? Because it's like an old friend. You can go for a long time without speaking to them, but as soon as you see them, it's like no time has passed, okay? So those are my Sloth decks, NERWS. All right, thank you, Sylvain, for this fun hashtag, and I am having fun seeing other people's responses. I think it's so interesting. I don't know why I think this is so interesting, but it is interesting when other people have responses that you would never pick. Like, really? Like, you lusted after that deck, or you're mad at that deck? How can you be mad at that deck? But it is interesting nonetheless, and I will be watching other people's responses, and I hope you liked my video. Wow, that's like an F- outro. I would totally ding a student for saying, I hope you liked my essay. Okay, I hope you liked it. Bye.